Mahalia. Ladies and gentlemen, Mahalia, come on. You are rearranging destiny. Lift your hands, say, I worship. You are here, touching every.
Worship you, yes we do, God. Worship you.
I worship.
You are here.
You are here,
Rearranging destiny.
rearranging destiny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I worship you. I worship you. Yeah, we call it.
We make miracle work. Promise keep light in the darkness.
My God,
That is who you are.
London, what do you call us?
We make a miracle working Jesus. Yeah. You're the light in the darkness. We
Good morning, my loves. This is your girl, Sada Star, and welcome to week 5 of 52 Weeks with Jesus, our easy breezy Bible study for the year of 2022. This week's chapter speaks on light in a dark place. Years ago, my wife and I traveled to Kentucky, where I went to seminary and decided to stop and tour Mammoth Cave. The trip marked my first and only time ever to be in a cavern like this, and I'll never forget it. We descended deep into the cave and then went without warning. The guide turned off his flashlight. Have you ever heard the term acluophobia? It's the fear of darkness. If I didn't have it before I went into that cave, I think I was afflicted with it after I emerged. Being in complete darkness is unnerving. It induces a sense of helplessness. And yet physical darkness is nothing to compare to emotional, relational, and spiritual darkness. When you are in the dark and can't see your way through, can't find your way out, Jesus lights the torch. I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. John 8:12. Light is one of the things we often take for granted. Light is essential to life, and we cannot live without it. Plants are necessary for the existence of mankind. The entire human species and all animal life are dependent on plants for survival. Plants provide all essential amino acids and most of the vitamins necessary for health through a light process known as photosynthesis. Plants also produce oxygen that we need to breathe, and plants must have light to grow. What is true in the physical world is true in the spiritual world. Physical life is impossible without physical light, and spiritual life is impossible without spiritual light. When the light went out in Mammoth Cave that day, those of us in the cave were in complete darkness and couldn't see. However, one person not only knew the way out, he had something priceless in his possession, a light. Have you ever felt like you were in darkness that you couldn't escape? For example, life circumstances like my girlfriend left me for another guy. I'm probably headed toward divorce. My husband has been cheating on me with prostitutes. I'm depressed and cry for no reason. When will the blues go away? I am wrestling a terrible illness and I am basically a shut-in. I am in a dark place and need help. What do you do when the sun doesn't seem to rise? How do you dispel the darkness? If you're stumped, ask yourself, if I wanted to get rid of darkness in a room, how would I do it? Would you sit down on a couch and feel sorry for yourself? Would you take a broom and try to sweep the darkness away? Would you try to shovel or vacuum the darkness out? There is only one solution to such a quandary. Turn on the light. Darkness runs for the hills when light comes. And Jesus is the light that banishes spiritual and emotional darkness. Jesus didn't say he is a light, one among many, but rather the light. He didn't say he is a light just for some, but the light of the world. And when life is at its darkest, Jesus is at his brightest. If you are living in darkness, you are invited to step into the light. Jesus makes an incredible promise that the moment you come to him, surrender to him, you will never walk in darkness again. How can Jesus be so confident? Because even though Jesus called himself the light of the world, he also called us the same thing, saying to his disciples in Matthew 5:14, "You are the light of the world." A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Of the 7 things that Jesus calls himself, this is the only title that he also gives us. If you are a follower of Jesus Christ, you should also be light amidst the darkness. Your job is to let Jesus shine in you and through you so that those living in the dark will find the light as well. That's why it's not enough to just shine. Light is useful when it encounters the darkness. The place to shine your light and show your light and share your light is not inside the church, but outside the church. Jesus tells us to do what he did. Go find dark places and start shining. When you're in the darkness, Jesus shines his light. But if you are living in the light, Jesus calls you to shine into the darkness. You don't have to ask people to look at you when you turn on a light in a dark room. Their heads will turn instinctively. If you play sports, begin praying for and with your teammates. You will be light in the darkness. You live in a neighborhood filled with unbelievers and begin performing acts of service for others in Jesus' name. You are a light in the darkness. You are a conspicuous Christian in your office, displaying virtue in an atmosphere of selfishness. You are a light in the darkness. Jesus called us to find people in dark places and to move towards those who need him. As it turns out, escaping from darkness is as easy as turning on the light. This week's prayer is, Lord, shine into my heart and my life, and where there is darkness, let me bear your light to the ones you love. This week's question is, are you living in the darkness or in the light? Where is Jesus calling you? I love you. God bless you. And I shall see you next week for week 6 of our 52 weeks with Jesus. God is within her easy, breezy Bible study.
That's who you are. That's who you are. Nobody else like you. God, hey, you never change. Prato, prato, you remain. God, God, that's who you are.
That's who you are.
Nothing less, nothing more. It's all you.
It's all you.
Nothing less, and there is nothing more. It's all you.
It's all
You are God alone, and you alone are God. It's all you.
it's all
You stand alone, and you do great and mighty things. It's all you.
it's all
Waymaker, provider, yeah. It's all you.
it's all
Tell me who can make a way. Tell me who can raise the dead. Tell me who can heal the sick. Hey, it's all you. God, God, that's all I can say.
all I have to say.
God, God, that's who you are. Oh, Manani Kalia Namamoto. I know a God who never changes. He remains the same yesterday, today, forever. Hey.
You remain the same.
If you were good last year, you are still good this year.
That's who you are.
Yes, Lord, you're my God. Yes.